Hello and welcome back. I can't believe we're on part 7, but as long as you're still watching, I'll continue to make them. Oh, and I have over 300 videos in the backlog. Feel free to check them out, and speaking of different types of content, I'm going to do more videos like I did last week, so follow me on Facebook or Twitter, and drop me some creepy videos for me to react to. Let me know what you think is spooky. But with all that out of the way, let's get to it. Our first segment is titled Dead Right, from Season 2, Episode 1, originally airing on April 21st, 1990. The episode opens with Cathy Finch, a gold-digging secretary with a sharp, arrogant attitude. Played by Demi Moore, Cathy is self-absorbed and determined to marry a wealthy man for the status, seemingly unbothered by the people around her. Her job as a secretary is just a stepping stone, and Cathy is eager to move up the social ladder. On her lunch hour, Cathy meets her friend Sally, who suggests she visit Madame Vorma, a psychic medium. The medium has a reputation for accurately predicting the future, and Sally thinks Cathy could use some guidance. Upon meeting Madame Vorma, Cathy is skeptical.
All your life you have desired to marry well, to marry for money, but your chance never came. So you keep working and hoping to meet Mr. Right. Or should I say, Mr. Rich?
Not bad.
Well, today, you lose your job.
Forget it. My boss is out of town, so there's no way I could get fired. Not today. You just made a big mistake.
In this area, I don't even make small ones.
Madame Vorma looks mysterious and old-fashioned, the kind of figure one might imagine to live in a dimly lit room filled with incense and strange trinkets. Cathy sits down, ready to dismiss whatever nonsense the medium might say, but to her surprise, Madame Vorma's prediction is unnervingly specific. She foretells that Cathy will lose her job, but she will find a new one by the end of the day. Cathy laughs this off, believing the medium is just a con artist trying to get her money. Her arrogance is evident as she brushes off Madame Vorma's words, insulting her before leaving. Despite her disbelief, the prediction starts to unfold in a strange way.
That asshole came back unexpectedly.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clayton.
Now, Miss Finch, I'm not the kind of thin-skinned boss who gets upset at being called a nasty name. I'm not. However, this time card here indicates you went to lunch at 12.
Yes, sir?
Now, you know we allow only 1 hour for lunch here.
Of course, Mr. Clayton. I'm aware of that.
Well, you're fired, Miss Finch.
Cathy returns to her office, only to be fired by her boss for being late from lunch. Cathy's world begins to crumble. She doesn't handle the news well. As she walks down the street, she passes a hostess bar where a fired waitress is causing a scene.
Oh, no, you're totally irreplaceable. We'll probably have to close down. Where will I ever find another waitress? Hey, you! Hey,
Wait, you talking to me?
you want a job?
The bar owner, furious with the waitress, snaps at her and declares that she's easily replaceable. Then, in a surprising twist, the owner of the bar offers Cathy the former waitress job. Still processing the bizarre turn of events, Cathy accepts the offer. It's a new job, just as the psychic predicted, and despite her disdain for the situation, Cathy is forced to admit that the prediction seems to have come true. Cathy, now with a new job, decides to return to Madame Vorma. This time, she's curious and perhaps even a little hopeful, eager to see what else the medium might predict. Madame Vorma tells Cathy that later in the evening, she will meet and marry a fat man, who will inherit a large fortune but will die a violent death shortly afterward. Cathy, still not fully convinced but intrigued, assumes that this fat man will be her ticket to riches, and she imagines herself as a wealthy widow. She gleefully anticipates a future of luxury, dismissing the violent death part as something that won't affect her for long. Later that night, Cathy attends a work-related event at the bar where she meets Charlie Marno, played by Jeffrey Tambor, an unattractive, obese man. Charlie is immediately drawn to Cathy and starts showing interest in her, despite Cathy's obvious disgust.
After you get off work.
Yeah, well, no problem on the drink, pal, but no way on the date.
Charlie's charm, however, is no match for Cathy's outward beauty and wealth-seeking nature. Though initially repulsed by his appearance and size, Cathy begins to entertain the idea that this might be the man from Madame Vorma's prediction. She plays along, knowing that she's not attracted to him physically, but she sees in Charlie the potential for a lucrative future. She's already planning her path to riches. They marry soon after. Cathy, while appearing to enjoy their marriage on the surface, resents Charlie. He is clumsy, and Cathy finds his lack of sophistication off-putting. However, she tolerates him because she believes that his untimely death is just around the corner. She fantasizes about how Charlie might die, a heart attack, an accident, something that will give her the wealth she's been dreaming about. But 3 months pass, and Charlie is still alive, much to Cathy's annoyance. Her patience is wearing thin. Cathy then recalls something Charlie mentioned early in their marriage. He has an uncle in the Midwest who owns a successful factory.
Say, Charlie.
What?
Have you heard from your uncle? You know, the rich one with the factory. Yeah.
Nah, why would I hear from him? He's out west with his family.
The possibility of this factory being part of Charlie's inheritance becomes a major source of frustration for Cathy. One night, she presses Charlie about the uncle, hoping for some good news. Charlie tells her that while his uncle is wealthy, he's in poor health and has several children, which places Charlie low on the list of heirs. Cathy's hopes are dashed once again. The gap between what she wants and what she's getting continues to widen. The following day, Cathy visits an automat, a place where food is dispensed from machines, to grab a coffee in Danish. While there, something incredible happens. Confetti falls from the ceiling, and Cathy is told that she is the 1 millionth customer.
Hold it! Cameras! Come on! Quiet. Now, quiet, everyone, please, quiet. Young lady, congratulations.
For what?
Well, you are the Hudson Automac chain's 1 millionth customer. What is your name, please?
This is Cathy Marno.
Well,
What's going on?
Mrs. Marno, just a moment. I'm writing your name on this check here. Mrs. Cathy Marno. The Hudson Automat chain takes great pleasure in presenting you, our 1 millionth customer, with a check for $1 million.
The CEO of the automat chain arrives and congratulates her, awarding her a $1 million prize. Cathy is ecstatic, elated by her sudden windfall. For a brief moment, it seems that everything is falling into place. She walks home with a smile, her newfound fortune gleaming in the form of a nice dress and an expensive designer purse. Though Cathy is on top of the world, she privately scoffs at Madame Vorma's prediction. The medium was wrong, she thinks, having secured her own fortune without the need for an inheritance or a violent death. However, when Cathy returns home, her mood takes a drastic turn. Still basking in her new wealth, Cathy tells Charlie she wants a divorce, calling him a fat, disgusting slob. She insults his appearance, his demeanor, and even their entire relationship. The insults cut deep, and Charlie, whose insecurities are already apparent, reacts violently.
Creep. I don't need you anymore. I'm moving out. No more smelling that stinking sewer you call a body. Hey, and you want some advice, Charlie? Eat a salad once in a while. And take a bath.
Cathy. One last thing.
What?
I can't have you. Nobody can.
In a fit of jealousy and rage, he grabs a knife and stabs Cathy to death. Charlie kills her in a brutal and emotional outburst, his love for Cathy twisting into murderous obsession. In the aftermath of the murder, Charlie inherits Cathy's fortune. Charlie is arrested, tried, and found guilty of second-degree murder. The episode ends with Charlie being sentenced to the electric chair. A final scene shows Madame Vorma watching a television report about Charlie's conviction and upcoming execution. With a smile of satisfaction, she mutters to herself, "I am always right."
For a violent man. I'm Ernie Kepros, live at the state penitentiary where the priest has given the final rites and Charlie has eaten his last meal. Today we'll bring a close to
The door is open.
the brutal murder
Are you Madame Vorma?
Yes, darling.
I heard you can tell the future.
for a violent man.
She heard correctly, didn't she, Trotsky? The fee is $20. Pay in advance.
Cathy Finch.
Dead Right is often cited as a standout episode in the series, praised for its performances and ironic twist ending. The chemistry between Moore and Tambor, combined with the darkly comedic narrative, contributed to its lasting impact. The source of the story is listed as Shock Suspense Stories number 6. It also features elements from the Vault of Horror number 25. Another unrelated story, also titled Dead Right, appeared in Tales from the Crypt number 21. That story was later adapted as Abracadaver in the following season. The character of Charlie was portrayed by Jeffrey Tambor, who had to wear a fat suit and facial prosthetics for the role. He said it was hot, uncomfortable, and hard to move in, which he said helped him stay in character. Demi Moore, who played the role of Cathy, followed her Tales from the Crypt appearance with the movie Ghost, and a dark comedy with Chevy Chase titled Nothing But Trouble. There is a great behind-the-scenes video here on YouTube by Spooky Jacqueline. I'll leave a link down in the description. Head over to their channel and tell them Buzby Gaming sent you. Our next story is titled Split Personality from Season 4, Episode 11, originally airing August 26, 1992. We start with the character of Jack, played by legendary actor Joe Pesci. Jack, a small-time hustler and con artist, who's trying to make quick money by playing the role of a slick gambler. He's always looking for a chance to trick someone out of their cash. And in this opening scene, he's in a casino. Jack notices a wealthy man, Mr. Gorman, celebrating a big win. Jack, ever the opportunist, approaches him with a friendly and disarming smile, pretending to be a professional gambler himself. He tells Mr. Gorman about a surefire betting system, one that will make him even richer. Jack convinces Mr. Gorman to invest in his system with a large sum of money, promising that it'll pay off big. However, once Jack has the cash in hand, he walks away without any intention of paying back or providing the system, leaving Mr. Gorman in the dust. Next, we're introduced to the Blair sisters, April and June, Jacqueline Alexandra and Kristen Amber. They are wealthy heiresses, daughters of a successful architect, living a life of luxury. The sisters are beautiful, poised, and seem to have little experience with men, which makes them perfect targets for someone like Jack. Jack immediately begins scheming to make them his next marks, thinking he can take advantage of their naivety and manipulate them into falling for him. Knowing that two beautiful sisters are not likely to fall for the same guy, Jack hatches a plan. Instead of just wooing one of them, he decides to win them both over. Jack creates a fake twin brother named Vic, using prosthetics and a wig to disguise himself. He then introduces Vic to the sisters, and to their surprise, he's charming and refined, a complete contrast to Jack's more abrasive, street-smart persona. The sisters fall for Vic, totally unaware that he's the same person as Jack, just in a different guise. Jack plays both roles smoothly, meeting with the sisters separately, and they both end up attracted to his alternate personalities. To each of them, Jack is a different man. The hard-working gambler Jack, and the sophisticated, elegant Vic. It's a brilliant con, but Jack doesn't realize how much trouble he's getting himself into. As Jack juggles both identities, he grows more and more confident in his plan. However, the Blair sisters are no fools. They begin to notice subtle similarities between Jack and Vic. The way they speak, their gestures, and even their mannerisms all seem eerily familiar. The tension begins to build as the sisters start to feel that something isn't quite right. But they're too intrigued and possibly even enamored to confront Jack just yet. They wonder how this could be possible. Could there really be two different men who are so similar, or is something more sinister at play? The suspense escalates until the moment of truth. The sisters have had enough and decide to confront Jack. They corner him and, in a tense and emotionally charged scene, force him to reveal the truth. Jack is caught off guard, realizing that his carefully orchestrated scam is about to fall apart. The sisters accuse him of being a fraud and demand an explanation. Jack tries to talk his way out of it, but his lies become increasingly transparent. In a final desperate attempt to salvage the situation, Jack confesses that Vic was just a disguise, a way to win their hearts and their fortunes. It's all part of his scheme to marry both sisters and eventually get his hands on their inheritance. He was hoping that once they were both in love with him, he'd reveal his true identity and still be able to live out his con. But now that the sisters are onto him, his whole plan is exposed. The atmosphere is thick with tension. The sisters, feeling hurt and betrayed, are no longer interested in Jack's apologies or explanations. In a shocking twist, they decide to take matters into their own hands. They bring out a chainsaw. They proceed to literally cut Jack in half. The very man who thought he was above the law and had the perfect scam has now become the victim of his own trickery. as the sisters get their revenge in the most final and ironic way possible.
It's all right now, honey.
Everything's going to be all right from now on.
It's clear that Jack's con has come to a gruesome end, with no sympathy or remorse from the audience. The sisters, on the other hand, have finally gotten justice. Split Personality is often praised for its engaging plot and Pesci's standout performance. Fans appreciate the darkly comedic tone and the ironic twist. This story was adapted from The Vault of Horror number 30. In the original comic, the con man is named Edwin King, and the twins are named Susan and Amy. These names were changed to Vic Stetson and April and June Blair, respectively, in the television adaptation. Joe Pesci's exasperated line upon seeing the mansion,
"What the is this piece of
has gained popularity as a meme on the internet in recent years. Pesci is known for maintaining a low public profile and rarely participates in interviews or public discussions about his work. However, there is an interview and behind-the-scenes footage of this very episode online. I'll provide a link down in the description, just in case you want to view it for yourself. Personally, I would like to get his thoughts on the meme hood of his episode of this show. This final segment is from Season 2, Episode 4, titled Till Death, originally airing April 24th, 1990. The episode begins with Logan Andrews, a landowner living on a tropical island, played by D.W. Moffat. He's portrayed as a man driven by greed and ambition. Logan wants to develop his land into a profitable resort, but he's faced with the obstacle of needing a substantial financial backing. This is where his relationship with the wealthy and influential Margaret Richardson, played by Pamela Geen, comes into play. She's a woman of status and wealth, but she comes off as a cruel, condescending character with a sharp tongue and a cold exterior. Logan sees in her not a romantic partner, but a means to secure the funds needed for his development project. He believes that through her, he can gain the financial support necessary to expand his plans and become wealthier. Although Margaret is initially unimpressed by him, she still harbors a certain attraction due to his determination and persistence. He believes she's a perfect candidate to marry because of her fortune. Desperate for her affection, Logan turns to local voodoo for assistance. He visits Psyche, a local voodoo priestess played by Janet Hubert. She's a mystical and enigmatic woman, and Logan believes she holds the key to winning Margaret's heart. Psyche warns Logan that the love potion she gives him must be used carefully, as there are consequences if misused.
Then it's this you'll be needing. You give her 1 drop, she become your wife. But if you give her 2, she be yours for life.
She's hesitant about giving it to him, but Logan insists that he needs it, believing he has nothing to lose. Psyche's warning becomes foreshadowing for the troubles ahead. She makes it clear that using magic for personal gain can backfire. But Logan is resolute, and he dismisses her warnings. With the potion in hand, he plans to use it to bend Margaret to his will. Logan doesn't waste any time. He uses the potion on Margaret, and the results are immediate. Margaret becomes infatuated with him, and the change is startling. She goes from being dismissive and cold to suddenly expressing deep affection for Logan. She becomes obsessed with him, practically hanging on his every word. But what Logan doesn't understand is that this love is not genuine. It's induced by the potion. It's an unnatural obsession, and it's clear to the viewer that something is deeply wrong. Margaret's change in behavior is stark and disturbing, but Logan is blinded by his greed and eagerness. He sees this as a perfect opportunity to marry her and secure her wealth. The potion gives him the false confidence to believe that he's winning Margaret's heart through his own charisma, not through manipulation. As she lavishes attention on him, Logan is convinced that he's on the path to success. He has the woman, and he has the plan. For a brief moment, Logan feels like he's achieved everything he wanted. But even with his newfound wealth and status, there's a dark undercurrent. Margaret's obsession grows more intense with every passing day. She's not the same woman she was before the potion, and Logan begins to realize that he's trapped in a situation where he's not actually loved. Instead, he's stuck with a woman who's been made to obsess over him by magical means. As time goes on, Logan's excitement begins to turn to dread. He starts to grow more fearful of the woman he's married, and his worst fears are confirmed when Margaret dies unexpectedly. The death is sudden, and Logan can't believe his luck. He's now a wealthy widow, and he believes the curse is lifted. However, there's a catch. The potion's effects don't end just because she dies. Logan's hopes for freedom and wealth are dashed when Margaret's body reanimates. Her death was only temporary, and the potion's effects have now manifested in a horrifying way. She returns from the dead, but not as the woman Logan married. Margaret's body has started to decay, and her appearance is a grotesque version of the woman she once was. Her skin has turned a sickly green, her eyes are clouded, and she exudes an almost otherworldly stench. This new Margaret is the literal manifestation of Logan's greed and carelessness. Her desire to be with him isn't a loving one. It's a possessive, vengeful force driven by the potion that has transformed her into something monstrous. Logan is horrified. He tries to escape, but he can't. Margaret has become a relentless force of nature, and no matter what Logan does, he can't outrun her.
Oh my God, I've killed her. Wait a second. I can't have killed her. She's already dead.
Logan, how could you?
She follows him, unrelenting and unyielding, every step of the way. Logan's plan for a successful life has crumbled, and he's now trapped in a living nightmare. The episode builds to a horrifying climax as Logan realizes he can't escape Margaret. In a last-ditch effort to rid himself of her, he decides to dispose of her body once again.
Stay away from me! No! Get away from me!
I'm burning with desire.
So much for burning desire.
But the potion has bound her to him, and no matter what he does, she keeps coming back.
Oh, whoa. To Margaret, may she rest in peace.
Margaret's reanimated form is grotesque and terrifying, and it becomes clear that Logan's fate is sealed. In a twisted final act, Logan is confronted by Margaret's reanimated corpse in a brutal and unsettling way.
I thought I was...
You were. But you think you can take the easy way out. You see, Logan, it's like I tell you. I'll always keep my promises.
The episode concludes with Logan facing the consequences of his greed and his decision to use the potion in the first place. His lust for power and wealth has led him to an inescapable fate, and the episode ends on a tragic note with Logan becoming the victim of his own actions. Till Death is based on the Vault of Horror number 28. The title is a line from the Christian wedding ceremony that means the marriage that one is about to enter is a lifelong commitment. Funny, because this marriage extends beyond a normal lifetime. This episode shares a similar premise to one we already covered back in part 2 of our Tales from the Crypt videos, titled Love to Death, in which a man uses a potion to win the love of a woman, only for that love to go way beyond what he bargained for. It just goes to show that a basic setup can be used to tell multiple versions of a story. It's kind of funny though. If a man uses a love potion on a woman, it's horror. If a woman uses a love potion on a man, it's a 90s comedy movie starring Sandra Bullock. Can somebody please explain that to me? Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and seriously, I have well over 300 videos that I've uploaded in the past. Sift through them, you might find something you'll like. And again, links to my Facebook and Twitter pages are down in the description. Send me some videos and clips, any that you think are spooky and scary. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.